Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, How to Blow Up a Pipeline. It's about a crew of environmental activists plotting to disrupt an oil pipeline, okay? Now here's the thing. Well, first of all, it is 7.2 on IMDb. One of the guys I follow on, I don't even follow him, on my For You page on TikTok, just like I mentioned last night, mentioned it, said it was a really good one. It's an hour and 44 minutes long, and so we'll see. Sasha Lane is in it, and I don't know, maybe Gage kind of rings a bell. I don't know. I'll have to see them when we see them in the movie, but nobody else really rings a bell from a name-wise in their IMDb picture, so I don't know a lot about it. Real quick, years ago, and I might have did a review on it. I don't know if it was pre-2016 or not, but there was another movie where this group of kids went to blow something up, and it was like an activist kind of thing. But this movie was in 2022. It was definitely before that, so I don't know what movie that was, and I don't have time to look it up before I start watching this movie. Maybe I'll figure it out. Maybe you'll figure it out before I do. Drop it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. But it's like an obscure kind of independent movie. I don't want to say it wasn't a blockbuster, but I don't know. It's now bothering me because I'm thinking it's the same movie, but it couldn't have been. So let's get into it, find out what it's about, give you a better idea, and hopefully by the end of this movie I'll think of the other movie, and we'll see if this one's any better than that one. I don't know. Stick around. I'll be back. I'm remembering characters in it. Like, for someone, I want to say Kate Bosworth was in it. I don't know. Whew. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of How to Blow Up a Pipeline. And no check-ins tonight because again I'm trying to be a little bit more concise with my reviews, but to get right to the point, it is really good. At first I wasn't sure. I was like, why all the hype? But once you see it all the way through, you get the hype, right? Some cool things to call out real quick is, first of all, Night Moves. Night Moves was the other movie I was thinking about, so if you saw the opening of this, I was thinking of some movie that is very similar, has nothing to do with Kate Bosworth. It's Jesse Eisenberg and Dakota Fanning were in that one. Ariel Barrier, I think I'm saying that name. It's hard to say. Her name is Soshil. It's an interesting name. Her character name in this, right? Maybe the main character. They do such a good job of really staying away from like a main character. They're all pretty much got their own stories and their own piece in this. But she's listed first. I'll put her as the main character, right? Very interesting name. Anyway, the point being, she also wrote the screenplay. I caught that at the end. She might have done more, probably executive producer, all that fun stuff. But she wrote the screenplay for this, so I find that pretty cool. And Lukas Gage, I've seen him in a lot of different things. He's in Euphoria, is probably the one where most of us would know him from. And that's it. Everybody else I didn't really recognize. And there's no reason to go deep into the plot. It's kind of what they say. These younger kids, I don't want to say kids, college age, come together, and their idea is to blow up a pipeline to be activists because they're all about the environment. And so it's that whole coming together. It starts out with them getting together, and then it dives into each one of the characters' backstory and kind of why they are there. And it very interesting. I'm like, why are they not showing this backstory? And I'm waiting for it. All purposely orchestrated throughout the entire movie. I don't want to give any more details because that's kind of why I didn't check in, because they just kept going backstories and building up the characters, and so you wanted to see that, and it lasts throughout the entire movie. So like I said, it's well paced, and I couldn't check in and be like, this is it, and it's only telling half the story. That's part of the allure, I think, of this entire movie. So I get the hype. Watch it all the way through. Definitely worth watching. I liked all of the characters for the most part. I was trying to decide who my favorite is. And initially, I'll just leave you with this real quick, not to go into Michael. Yeah, that was his name. First it was Michael. I don't know. They're all pretty cool in their own right. And that's it. I will say, one last thing. I don't think it's not a spoiler alert or anything like that. We know what they're there to do, right? And they've got to cover their tracks, literally. But I did notice, and I thought this was going to play out a little bit more. You know, them really going to the limits to kind of cover their tracks. But one, I'll say, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. It's not going to ruin the movie or anything like that. I just don't feel comfortable saying it without saying that first. They were like booties covering their shoes. But only one couple did. That was the only thing. Everybody else was out walking around freely. And I thought, at first I saw that and I was like, ooh, that's going to come into play and that's going to be very interesting. But it doesn't. But if they would have paid a little bit more attention to detail than that for everybody else, I'm all in. But the rest of it was pretty well orchestrated. Alright, that's it. Hopefully you check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. I also thought it might be based on a true story. It's not. It's based on a book. There you go. That's it. Trying to be concise. Hopefully I was helpful. Watch it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.